What do Riley Gaines, Dr. Oz, and Lauren Boebert have in common with the men's hockey team in the US? It's not that they're sleep paralysis demons, and it's not that they all share one singular brain cell. It's actually way darker than anything surface level MAGA delusion, and it has to do with funding by a dark entity. And I have the receipts, and it's horrifying. And we need to make sure Democrats are aware so they can show the F up. And real quick, I'm Lauren Pretra. If you're new here, my four-legged co-host and boss Willa may be entering the frame from time to time. And we're going to ask that you take a moment to make sure you're subscribed, because it's truly only a matter of time till the next Riley Gaines, Dr. Oz comes up on the scene with a terrible podcast. And we've got to be in position to hold ground and elevate the correct voices. So consider every sub, every hype, every comment, every action, and F you to MAGA and all these Looney Tunes.
My husband is a legal immigrant. He came to the United States from England back in 2018. He did everything the right way. I would describe my husband, I guess fully Brit, although now has his green card in the process for citizenship. I would describe him as more American than a lot of Americans who are currently citizens. He loves this country. He understands the freedoms that we have. He sees the trajectory of England, quite frankly. He is so grateful to be here. To your point, I do think our legal immigration system certainly needs reform. I think that process needs to be sped up and made more efficient. But my husband, he respects ICE officers.
Right. Her husband is an immigrant. He is also a certain shade of milky white. There is a version of immigration these people are completely fine with. It just has a very particular look that needs a lot of SPF. And I need to be clear with you about who is actually talking here and who she's actually talking about here, because this is a gal who got 5th or 6th place at the 2022 NCAA championships and has since decided that her full-time job is determining who is American or woman enough. Riley Gaines is not a constitutional scholar or an immigration attorney. She's got just as much policy background as I do aerospace engineering experience. She is a 6th place loser swimmer who parlayed a moment into a career and is now out here acting as if she's the bouncer of American identity. Meanwhile, people are being snatched up off the street or kidnapped from their own immigration appointments, or straight from the hospital in the instance of a few kids. People who have been here for years, paying taxes, raising families, doing everything the right way, and they're still being stolen. So the whole argument of, well, maybe they should come here illegally is something that is very easy to say when you have never had to navigate a broken immigration system. And a system that has always been deliberately underfunded, backlogged, for decades. That argument requires a level of detachment from any sort of reality that should disqualify you from the conversation entirely. Goodbye. America has never been ethnically homogenous, and it was never supposed to be. It was built by enslaved Africans, by Chinese railroad workers, by Irish and Italian immigrants who weren't even considered white when they arrived, indigenous people whose land this was before any of this, and waves of refugees from every conflict the United States has involved itself in globally. The Statue of Liberty, which is in New Jersey, by the way, does not say, give me your tired and poor, your huddled masses, as long as they have the right paperwork and have the right complexion. Foreign-born Americans have won more Nobel Peace Prizes per capita than any native-born citizens. Immigrants founded or co-founded Google, Yahoo, eBay, WhatsApp, Tesla, which is the company Elon Musk takes credit for but did not actually found. First-generation immigrants start businesses at higher rates than native-born citizens. The idea that America has some default white identity worth protecting is a gross fantasy being sold to people who are afraid of sharing. And Riley Gaines, this Mr. Potato Head looking 5th, 6th place finisher loser, is the one they picked to sell it? Make it make sense. And speaking of people who have appointed themselves the authority on who deserves to take up space in this country, let's talk about the man who is literally deciding whose body is worth maintaining.
We're announcing a 6-month national moratorium blocking all new enrollments for durable medical equipment, prostheses, orthotics, supplies across the board. These crimes are becoming a major source of fraudulent activity. And I'll just mention, Mr. Vice President, South Florida. You ever go to McDonald's?
Yeah, too much.
We had rehearsed this. So there are twice as many durable medical equipment suppliers in South Florida than McDonald's.
Wow.
And that's not because Secretary Kennedy is closing down McDonald's. That's because the amount of fraud is so massive that it's easier to open one of these suppliers than open a bank account, which is why we're working with Secretary Bessent. And part of the reason for this moratorium is it gives us time to be able to deal with these issues that have become massive. And if we just shut down South Florida, they'd all flee to California and to Texas. So we have to shut the whole country down. This unfortunate necessity is going to allow us to get on top of what we believe is billions of dollars of DME frauds. We've already stopped $1.5 billion of billing, but we need more time to shut down these bad guys. But it's going to be effective, and it's not going to touch the people who need these services. We have designed...
Dr. Oz spent 20 years on daytime television selling your grandmother supplements. None of them worked. And now he's in charge of American healthcare. And his first major move is a 6-month moratorium on blocking new enrollments for prosthetics, for orthotics, and medical supplies across the board. The stated reason is curbing corruption and billing fraud in the durable medical equipment industry, which sure, billing fraud is a real issue, but the way you address billing fraud is not to cut off every disabled American from getting prosthetic limbs while you sort it out. That is not an anti-corruption policy. What they're doing is using language of accountability to cause maximum harm to the most vulnerable people possible. And if this administration actually cared about corruption, I have a few suggestions for you on where to start. Maybe Trump's crypto venture made of hundreds of millions of dollars from foreign investors while he was negotiating foreign policy. His family has taken money from Saudi, Qatar, and the foreign governments with direct interest in American decisions. The man has been credibly accused of more financial conflicts of interest than any president in modern history. But let's start with the prosthetics. One Twitter user put it perfectly. In the meanwhile, if you need a prosthetic arm or leg, Dr. Oz will sell you some magic beans that will just regrow it. It's kind of funny until you remember it's real. So we have the woman who's deciding who's American enough, the doctor who's deciding whose body is worth fixing, and then we have these guys who just want you to know that they're not political at all.
Are you guys excited to be going to the White House and meeting Trump?
Yeah, we're excited. I mean, anytime, like, everything is so political. We're athletes. We're so proud to represent the U.S. And when you get the chance to go to the White House, meet the president, you know, we're proud to be Americans, and, you know, that's so patriotic. So no matter what your views are, we're super excited to go.
Come here, boys. I need to have a little conversation with you. As one person who needs to wear a lot of SPF to another, here's the thing about saying, we're just athletes. That phrase only works if nobody has ever questioned whether you belong in the sport, in the building, or in this country. Those guys walked into the White House like it was the most natural thing in the world, because for them it was. Nobody is debating your place in anything. Meanwhile, Riley Potato Heads Gaines has spent years arguing about which women's bodies are acceptable in competitive spaces. There is a 13-year-old boy named Edison in a prison, in a detention center, in a facility in Texas, who was playing soccer for his school team 2 months ago. You do not get to be just an athlete when the entire system is actively arguing about people who look like you and whether they belong to be here at all or not. Walking into the White House and saying nothing while children are in cages is itself a choice. And these guys made it with a smile and a team photo. And then there's Lauren Boebert, who has a very public and ongoing struggle with reading, who's decided that the person who should be the Speaker of the House is Elon Musk.
I would argue that illegal immigration and legal immigration are part of the affordability crisis that we are seeing in America. Under Joe Biden and the one-party Democrat rule, we had open borders that have absolutely decimated our economy, overrun our schools, overrun our hospitals, and is really siphoning and stealing so many hard-earned tax dollars that Americans are forced to pay. I was a big supporter of the Doge cuts, and we did not cut near enough of what we could have. I think it would be great in the next term if Republicans keep the majority to have Elon Musk as Speaker of the House. That might be our only shot to actually cut spending.
A man born in South Africa who legally cannot hold office, who has spent the last Thanksgiving posting race science content to 200 million followers. That's the guy. And what Lauren Boebert just told you without meaning to tell you is that it was never about immigration. It was never about the rule of law or respecting the process of coming here the right way. because Elon Musk didn't come here the right way. He came here with money, apartheid wealth, connections, and the right complexion. And that covers everything. Riley Gaines' husband came here with the right complexion. That's their policy. That's what they're telling you. And if you're paying attention, I need you to hold that right next to Edison, the 13-year-old from Chicago crying under a bunk bed in a internment camp in Texas. They are telling you exactly who this was always for, and it was never for the people in cages. And here's what I need you to take away from all of this. The Republicans have their messaging completely dialed in. They have their think tanks, they have their funding networks, they have a 50-year paper trail of organized ideology, and they have people and they have billion-dollar corporations backing it all. The Heritage Foundation has been at this since 1973, and their co-founder admitted deliberately that they engineered the alliance between the evangelical Christianity and Republican politics and white cultural anxiety, specifically to build a voting bloc powerful enough to take over the government. That was the plan from the beginning. They wrote Project 25. Over 100 organizations signed on it, and nearly 2/3 of Trump's first week executive actions came straight out of that document. Their own president said Heritage's job is to institutionalize Trumpism. Charles Koch, Leonard Leo, the DeVos family are the ones writing these checks. And while they run this playbook, Democrats are still arguing about why they lost. And they're still taking corporate money. They're still trying to manage activists and tell us to pipe down instead of mobilizing. The answer is not promoting within at the DNC so you can keep marketing leads as insular and siloed in their breadth of experience as possible, or hiring folks straight out of college so you can pay them poverty wages. The answer is listening to people who are pissed off, going broader into culture, not more narrowly into your safe little echo chambers. We need to be getting with the freaking times. We need to be elevating more leaders like Ilhan Omar.
Penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people.
Standing up in a hearing, ready to throw punches because her constituents are being killed. We need that Ilhan Omar energy. The answer is people who understand the urgency and who look alive, because people are dying. Children are disappearing into detention systems with no legal limits on how long they can be held, and we are not nearly angry enough about it. And if you agree and want more commentary like this, make sure you subscribe. I bootstrapped this whole operation, and I cannot do it without your support. And we can disrupt this hellscape by speaking up, yelling more, and staying in this together. So subscribe, share, comment, press all the things.